We crossed a line that night. And never went back. Setting, a quiet suburb, Friday evening. It was supposed to be just another weekend. My wife Sarah was excited, her younger sister Lena was coming to stay with us for a few days. She had just broken off her engagement and needed time away from everything. When I opened the door that night and saw her standing there, suitcase in one hand, wearing that long black coat and a soft, tired smile, I felt something shift. She hugged Sarah first, then turned to me. "Still handsome, huh?" she smiled. I laughed. "Still dramatic, huh?" But her eyes lingered a moment too long, and mine did too. That was the beginning of the line we didn't know we were about to cross. Later that evening, we sat watching a movie. Sarah was curled up beside me and dozed off halfway through. Lena sat on the other end of the couch, her legs tucked under her, a blanket around her shoulders. Halfway through the film, she whispered, "She always falls asleep first." I smiled. Every time. Then silence. Except for the soft sound of the movie, and her eyes watching me in the dark. She didn't say a word, but her look said everything. Something about the way she looked at me, familiar, curious, and something else. I looked away. But I felt it. We both did. Around 1 a.m., I couldn't sleep. So I went to the kitchen. She was already there. Wearing an oversized shirt, sipping tea, leaning against the counter like she lived there. "Insomnia?" she asked. I nodded. "You too?" She gave a half smile. "I've had too many thoughts lately." I leaned beside her. Silence. Then she turned slightly, facing me. "You were looking at me differently tonight," she said softly. "Were you thinking something?" I hesitated. "I shouldn't." "But you did." Her fingers brushed mine on the counter, soft, slow. Every alarm in my head went off, but my heart? My breath? It wanted to stay. We stood like that for a moment too long. Then I turned and walked away. But her voice followed. "You're not the only one who can't sleep." The next night, it rained. Sarah fell asleep early again. Lena was in the living room, watching the storm through the window. I walked past, but stopped. "Beautiful, isn't it?" she said, not turning. "The rain, or the silence?" She turned to look at me. "Both." I sat next to her. "Close. Too close." "You know," she said, "I always wondered why Sarah got you, not me." I looked at her, stunned. She leaned in. "I think, maybe you were supposed to be mine." And before I could speak, she kissed me. Slow. Dangerous. Forbidden. And I didn't stop her. The next morning was unbearable. Sarah made breakfast. Lena sat across the table, her lips curved in a secret smile. I couldn't speak. My eyes kept drifting. Everything looked normal. But everything had changed. We tried to ignore it. Pretend it didn't happen. But desire doesn't die in silence. The next night, it happened again. A whisper. A glance. A touch. And this time, I didn't pull away. One night, as we stood in the hallway, her hand brushed mine again, and suddenly, Sarah's voice came from behind. "Are you two, okay?" We froze. I turned. "Yeah, just talking." Sarah smiled, but something in her eyes had changed. Was it suspicion, or just a bad feeling? Either way, I knew the line wasn't just crossed anymore. It was gone. Lena started staying up later. Wearing less. Sitting closer. Whispering things only I could hear. Sarah remained unaware, or maybe she just refused to see it. And me? I was falling deeper into something I knew I couldn't control. Guilt was there, but lust was louder. Eventually, it became clear, either I end this, or destroy everything. I told Lena we had to stop. That it couldn't go on. She just smiled. Too late. We already went too far. Lena left that Sunday. She didn't hug me goodbye. Just a glance, and a smirk, and a whisper in my ear. Tell Sarah I said goodbye. And maybe one day, I'll come back. She walked out. And I've never been the same since. Because some nights, I still feel her kiss on my lips. And every time I look at Sarah, I remember.